Hi, I'm Missy Sunseri. I want to welcome you to my wall of art. I'm enjoying being a part of this Venice art crawl, virtual art crawl. I wish we could all be seen in person, but this is how we're going to do it. Welcome to my creative side. So first I'm going to start out with this piece, which is a bit of my mind, made of spray paint and wood. The nice flow just seemed to come out, which most of us artists have the scattered brains. Now I come down to this piece, which is actually underneath Malibu's wood that was burned from the fires, and with Indian paper surrounding each part. Down here we have a dream catcher with multi-different materials, with acrylic paint behind and different crystals, wood, and different symbols. We come across to this one, which is my book of life, my healing journey of my book. And I know that I am green and I love the earth, so that is where the green comes from. But there is also sand put in the paint from Malibu in my healing journey. And then we'll move across to this one, where there's sand in the paint, but also, if you can see, there are interesting beings standing throughout the piece. But however you see my pieces, you see my pieces. And then you come up to here, where this is all natural with moss. This is real rosemary, flowers from my garden, and different stones that I picked at the beach. And these leaves actually come from down in Malibu, where I first started my healing adventure that I happened to keep. Now these two, this one and this one, come from when I first started channeling things. This energy came through of these symbols, and I used acrylic with these symbols and channeled within them and continued to make symbols throughout all of my pieces. Up here we have acrylic, and then we have sand above and a bunch of wood from the beach in all different places that I have found. All natural materials to come together. Up here we have a piece that actually symbolized the mountains of where the masters are. That is acrylic and a gold wooden frame that very has the symmetry of the Native American style. Speaking of Native American, we come down to this piece, which I found all these pieces on the beach, and I found this main part, which looks like a being, and I made a headdress going down with different acorns and natural material to really show the old style. You even have earrings with the buttons, and it's a beautiful creature. Now I come down to this piece, which is kind of your mind when you're not sure what's going on and you can't catch a grip. It just flows and goes right into my wall. Has a gold outside piece and also has dirt from my backyard inside the piece too, for my grounding. Speaking of grounding, we go down to the root chakra, which this is actually made with car auto paint, which is a lot shinier, as you can see, But for model cars, that's what they usually use them as. But I decided to make my route as my model due to the fact that me and my brother used to drive little mini cars. And now you come over to this piece, which is acrylic inside that turned into these trees. And these trees were a healing adventure for me to ground myself. That is why it is next to the root. The root of who we are and how we create. And I'm going to come up to this piece, which has a bunch of multi-materials, which as you can see I do a lot in my photos. But there's an owl that lives around me that comes out every night. And the owl feather, it left an owl feather at my front door. So I incorporated that. And then you have Shiva, who is your ultimate being of who you are, who is having all of your masteries within you. And now we come down to this piece. And this piece is very special to me because I put these puzzle pieces in copper underneath this acrylic. And this on my healing adventure was me releasing my brother passing away and my guilt that it wasn't me, that it was him. So the pieces with the different material is how I got to the point in time to be where I am right now. And then we will come along to this piece, which really describes my brain. You'll see what you can, see what you want inside this piece. We have myself meditating in the corner with my open eye, opening up to who I am now. And it has beautiful color with all acrylics. And then you have your Tibetan man down in the corner who shows the enlightenment to where you can be, to the angels of what you can see. And now we're going to move on to this one, which is the Namaste symbol inside these stones that I found on the beach. And stones always look better wet. So I put acrylic around the stones to make them look more vibrant, and found this piece off of something else. And it symbolizes in the center that you can keep yourself calm. This is another piece that I put together, wrapped twine around, and used all natural materials from the back of my house and everywhere I could find. And it really throws you into your earth. Your earth is what you need to create these type of things. So then we come along to this piece. During this time, wasn't sure where I was thinking. So you have an old Asian spoon underneath, you have an elephant in the background, or whatever you would like to see, with many multiple materials that I have found on this earth, and also not, including the buttons. And then this is a symbolize of north, south, east, and west, to keep your compass going straight. Now I come down to this piece, which is actually all spray paint. And what I realized when I was doing it, that it actually looks like the Santa Monica Mountains and the beautiful sunset that comes over them. Then I come along to this piece, which has multiple materials in it. And I took bamboo and I wired it with copper to make the frame. And all of these flowers are from my garden. This is Indian paper coming down. And these are all pieces of wood that I have found on the beach, near the beach, that I incorporated and added gold into them. So this piece has a lot of depth. And this piece really symbolizes what you can grow. What you can grow in your life. Because you can really grow anything. Then I'm going to come along to this piece, which when I went through a lot of trauma, I was on the beach, and I was sitting there, and I turned around, and I found this mound of sand, and I noticed one of these pieces sticking out, and I literally started digging, and I found all of these pieces. Someone's porch might have fallen off of Malibu's canyon, but all these pieces came naturally from that same pile that I found. Now this piece is from my Egyptian past lives. There is an sarcophagi underneath, painted like a mummy, and in a temple with sand, dirt, and natural wood from the burning fires of Malibu. Now down to here, there's more sand, but this is a symbolize of more of the Mayan culture, of seeing the different textures, of where you can go. There really is no limit to that. Now this piece I made from a room where I had no art pieces to make. And these are literally buttons with sand, but different type of sand. It's a child type of sand. And I hardened it by using acrylic inside of it and using natural materials around and then behind. Now this piece, people see many different things. Be interested to see what you see of it. And I used acrylic, I used natural Indian paper, and the wood from the frame is something that I found that fit perfect to surround it. And as you see, a lot of my materials I find that tend to fit together. And from my healing journey, this is where I became a healer. And I started working with these crystals, which are Lumerian crystals, cut in an Atlantean cut. And this one is a Oasis Golden Dolphin. And as you can see, there's the temple on top. And you have your male energy from this side and your female energy to distribute. Now, we also have a golden dolphin, which is more of a dark type of psychic type of surgery. No psycho. Psychic type of surgery, which has a very pointy, strong energy. So what I do with these crystals is I place my hand and I put my intent through. And that intent will go through because we are made the same with the inside and outside. Now I'm going to come along to this piece, which was an old antique mirror. And I took out the mirror, and the first time in 7 years when I moved here, the sage grew on top of the hill. So all of these flowers and sage are from my yard, which is a beautiful thing. Now I'm going to come down to this piece. And this piece has natural natural succulents growing out, all natural material. The first time I really connected with the Tibetan world. And I made this piece because we should show all the living and the parts, which really describe how we are thinking every day. We really tried to hold on. And I just want to thank you. I put it down here, Venice, that I'm very thankful to be in this virtual art crawl, and I want to thank Sunny and I want to thank Lauren Doyle for letting me be a part of this beautiful journey. And I am so thankful to be here, and I hope you enjoy my art. My name is Missy Sunseri, and my company is The Natural Mind. And if you have any questions or you would like to buy a piece, give me a call or look me up at thenaturalmind.com. I appreciate you checking out my art and being a part of this. Thank you.